Let's discuss about the Tanjung Rhu Riverfront 1 and 2 BTO project. This new BTO project sits right by the Kallang River with views that will definitely boost the resale value in the future. There will be over 2,000 units, including 2-room flexi flats, 3-room flats, and also 4-room flats. The buildings will be between 8 to 29 floors tall, designed to give most apartments a nice view of the river or the green spaces in between the buildings. Overall, the area feels very affluent because it has a lot of high-end condos, with some of them priced at around $2 to $4 million. However, do note that this location is actually quite a remote area. There are 2 new MRT stations in the area, Tanjung Rhu MRT and also Katong Park MRT. However, it will still be around 1 kilometer walk or around 3 bus stops away to either MRT station. If you look at the map, this BTO is also somewhat close to the East Coast Park if you like an active lifestyle. Amenities are still limited in this area, which is why the project itself allocates space for commercial and community use. There will be a preschool for young kids, a residence center for community events, restaurants, a supermarket, and even shops, all right there within the development. Plus, there's plenty of parking with rooftop gardens and viewing decks, offering even more river views. As predicted, this project is offered under the prime location public housing model, so it comes with a 10-year MOP, cannot rent out the whole flat even after MOP, subsidy clawback, and a bunch of other restrictions. In terms of price, a 4-room flat starts at $568,000 excluding grants. For comparison, the transacted price of nearby resale flats is already above $800,000 and some even over $1 million. Despite of the PLH model restrictions, I think the owners of a 4-room flat here can probably sell the flat after MOP for double the price, especially if they have a high floor unit and facing the water. Here's an illustration of a 4-room payment plan that HDB gave. So they said a typical 4-room flat here will cost around $675,000 and that buyers with income around 8.4K to 9.8K per month should be able to afford the flat comfortably. Before you say, that's so expensive, again, remember that the comparable HDB resale price is around double of that. And if you compare it with the condos nearby, the difference is even more significant because some of the condos around this area can cost $2 to $4 million easily. Interestingly, this project still offers a 3-room flat, which is subjected to PLH model restrictions as well, same as the 4-room flat. Based on the application rate of past PLH BTO projects, typically 3-room doesn't get as much interest as their 4-room counterpart, mainly because obviously 3-room is smaller but yet subjected to the same strict rules. So, if you really want to get a flat here, you have a higher chance of getting a good ballot number if you apply for the 3-room flat. For your reference, here's the price range for a 3-room flat and its comparison with the nearby HDB resale flats. If we look at the payment plan illustration, obviously, the cost is more manageable, but again, do note that even a 3-room flat will fall under the PLH model restriction. Not only that it will have the 10-year MOP, you also can't rent out the whole flat even after the MOP has ended. So, you should think about your family planning and see whether a 3-room flat is suitable for you. If you are keen on 2-room flexi flats, this project also offers 2 types. The main difference is the size. For seniors above 55 years old, you can even opt to buy the flat with a short lease. Note that if you buy a 2-room with a short lease, in the future you cannot sell it in the open market. Now, let's take a closer look at the site plan. For the Tanjung Rhu Riverfront 1, what I like is that many blocks are designed to have as many corner units as possible. The exception is Block 24C, where for some reason it has quite a lot of corridor units. It's a shame though because this block is actually facing the water. I also find it interesting that they allocate this space to a preschool because it's actually facing the water. I'm guessing because they want to give the water view to residents of Block 25A instead. Anyway, if you want to enjoy the view, there's a rooftop garden on top of the preschool. Next, let's take a look at the Phase 2 of Tanjung Rhu Riverfront BTO. Similar to Phase 1, we have quite a lot of units facing the water. However, for Phase 2, I see a red flag. Some of the units at Block 28B will be facing the bin center. Personally, this is a big no-no for me as it impacts your quality of life and also the resale value of the flat later on. So, just watch out if you are lucky enough to get a ballot number in this project. Speaking about ways, according to the HDB website, the Tanjung Rhu Riverfront project will have the smart waste system. However, A quick Google search shows that there have been complaints about similar systems in the past when it was implemented in other HDB projects. So the way that this smart waste system works is basically it uses air pressure in an underground pipe network to push and transport your rubbish to the centralized bin center. However, people being people, some just anyhow throw large rubbish until the system chokes. As a result, it becomes smelly. The minister did mention that the smell problem has gotten better after mitigation measures and educating the residents not to throw large trash into the system, but I thought I'd let you know about this for your consideration. Next, let's talk about schooling options. If you look at the map, Dunman High School is obviously located nearby, but I was struggling to find options for primary and secondary school within the 1 kilometer radius or even 2 kilometer radius. According to the HDB website, they mentioned that Bendemeer Primary and Secondary School is nearby, but when I check on the map, Bendemeer Primary School is near Boon Keng MRT station and it's quite a distance to this Tanjung Rhu BTO project. Hong Wen School, which is also mentioned as an alternative, is also near Boon Keng MRT and even located further away than Bendemeer School from the Tanjung Rhu BTO project. So for parents, the limited schooling option is definitely something that you need to think about, especially if you have young kids. So just to recap, what I like about this project besides the scenic views, it's a short drive to CBD and there are 2 new MRT stations in the area and you might also have less competition for a 3-room flat. Why? Based on past prime projects, the application rate for a 3-room flat specifically is usually low because most families find that the holding period is too long and not suitable if they want to expand their family. Another positive point for this project is that they are offering over 2,000 units for both projects, so you tend to have a higher chance in balloting. On the other hand, for families, you do have to note that there's only one high school nearby. The government will build preschool in the project, but how about primary school and secondary school? That's something for you to think about, especially if you still have young children. Another downside is that although there are 2 new MRT stations, it is still a 1 kilometer distance or 3 bus stops away, so most likely you need to take a feeder bus just to get to the station unless you are keen to take a very long walk. Another thing to consider is that this BTO project will use the smart waste system, which has been reported to have some issues in other projects. I don't necessarily think it's a deal breaker except for units that are directly facing the bin center. If you are keen to know about other BTO projects, check out my other videos on this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!